Newcastle's preference for Alexander Isak's future emerges. As Liverpool lingers in the shadows, pondering their next big money move in the transfer market, introduction Alexander Isak has firmly established himself as one of the most exciting young strikers in European football since his move to Newcastle United in 2022. The Swedish international has showcased his extraordinary talent, finishing this past season as the Premier League's second highest scorer, behind only Mohamed Salah. However, Isak's brilliance on the field has not gone unnoticed by Europe's elite clubs, with Liverpool, Arsenal, Barcelona all reportedly expressing interest in securing his signature. Newcastle United, buoyed by their resurgence under new ownership and their impressive performances in the Premier League, are understandably reluctant to part ways with their star forward. Yet, transfer rumors persist, and the Reds' supposed interest in Isak raises intriguing questions about Newcastle's stance and the potential financial dynamics at play. This article delves into the intricacies of the Alexander Isak transfer saga, exploring Newcastle's firm stance, Liverpool's financial position, and the striker's undeniable allure. We also examine Newcastle's preference for an overseas sale should circumstances force them to part ways with the Swedish sensation. Newcastle United's reluctance to sell. When Newcastle United secured the services of Alexander Isak in 2022 for a then club record fee of approximately £63 million, it was a statement of intent. The Magpies had successfully acquired one of Europe's most promising talents, signaling their ambition to compete at the highest level domestically and in Europe. Since then, Isak's performances have vindicated Newcastle's significant investment. With a blend of technical skill, pace, and clinical finishing, he has become the focal point of Eddie Howe's attack. His contribution to Newcastle's offensive play goes beyond goals. Isak's ability to link up with teammates, create opportunities, and press opponents epitomizes the modern striker. Newcastle's ownership group, led by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund PIF, has repeatedly emphasized their commitment to building a competitive team capable of challenging for domestic and European honors. Letting go of a player like Isak would contradict this vision and could send mixed signals about their long-term ambitions. Liverpool's dream signing for Liverpool Alexander Isak represents an ideal solution to their search for a dynamic and versatile striker. Despite already committing around $250 million to transfers this summer, including marquee signings like Florian Wirtz, the Reds are reportedly still in the market for a top-tier forward. Liverpool's interest in Isak aligns with their philosophy of acquiring young, high-potential players who can make an immediate impact while also serving as long-term assets. At 25 years old, Isak fits this profile perfectly. His ability to play across the front line and his proven track record in one of Europe's toughest leagues make him an enticing prospect for Jurgen Klopp's side. However, securing Isak's services would require Liverpool to break the bank once again, with Newcastle reportedly valuing the striker at over $157 million. It would represent a significant financial outlay, even for a club of Liverpool's stature. Newcastle's financial position, one of the key factors in Newcastle's reluctance to sell Isak, is their strong financial position. The Magpies have already addressed their Premier League profitability and sustainability (PSR) obligations by offloading players like Yankuba Mina and Elliot Anderson last year. This financial stability means Newcastle is under no pressure to sell their star players to balance the books. Moreover, Newcastle's qualification for the Champions League provides an additional revenue stream, further strengthening their resolve to retain Isak. The club's hierarchy is aware that selling a player of Isak's caliber could jeopardize their competitive prospects, particularly as they aim to establish themselves as a top-4 regular in the Premier League. Overseas preference. Why Barcelona makes sense while Newcastle's priority is to keep Alexander Isak. The club recognizes that unforeseen circumstances, such as a player's desire to leave can sometimes force their hand. In such a scenario, Newcastle would likely prefer to sell Isak to an overseas club rather than strengthen a direct Premier League rival. Barcelona. One of the clubs reportedly interested in Isak could emerge as a logical destination. The Catalan Giants are in the market for a long-term successor to Robert Lewandowski, and Isak's profile fits their requirements. Additionally, Newcastle's preference for an overseas sale aligns with their strategy of minimizing the competitive impact of losing a key player, the transfer domino effect. The potential transfer of Alexander Isak could trigger a domino effect in the European transfer market. If Newcastle decides to sell, they would need to find a replacement of similar quality, which could drive up prices for other strikers. Meanwhile, Liverpool's pursuit of Isak might influence their rivals' transfer plans, with clubs like Arsenal and Manchester United keeping a close eye on developments. The financial implications of such a high-profile transfer are also worth considering. A deal for Isak would likely break records and set a new benchmark for striker valuations, impacting negotiations for other players in similar positions. Alexander Isak's future at Newcastle. United is a fascinating subplot in the 2025 summer transfer window, while Newcastle remains determined to keep their star forward. The persistent interest from Liverpool, Barcelona, and other elite clubs ensures that the speculation will not die down anytime soon. For Liverpool, signing Isak would be a dream come true, providing Jurgen Klopp with a versatile and proven goal scorer. However, the financial and competitive dynamics of such a move make it a challenging proposition. Meanwhile, Newcastle's preference for an overseas sale reflects their strategic approach to maintaining their competitive edge in the Premier League as the transfer window progresses. All eyes will be on St. James Park to see how Newcastle navigates this delicate situation. Will they hold firm and retain their prized asset? Or will Isak's brilliance on the pitch ultimately lead to his departure? Only time will tell. Introduction: Newcastle United's determination to retain Alexander Isak has been made abundantly clear thanks to recent comments from renowned transfer expert David Ornstein. With over 3 years left on Isak's current deal and his crucial role in the club's ambitious Saudi-led project, Newcastle is reportedly preparing to make him the club's highest earner to fend off potential suitors like Liverpool. Meanwhile, speculation around Liverpool's striker options continues, with Darwin Núñez's possible departure leaving questions about their attacking lineup. This article explores Newcastle's robust position on Isak, Liverpool's reported stance on a new striker, and how the dynamics surrounding both clubs could shape the summer transfer market. Liverpool's striker dilemma. Interestingly, despite the persistent links to Isak, reports from the Times indicate that Liverpool is not actively pursuing a new No. 9. This comes amid the high likelihood of Darwin Núñez leaving Anfield this summer. Núñez's potential departure would leave Diogo Jota as Liverpool's only natural striker, though Luis Diaz and Florian Wirtz could also provide options in more central roles. Isak's appeal to Liverpool. For Liverpool, Alexander Isak represents an ideal candidate to fill the void left by Núñez. His ability to play across the front line, combined with his technical skill and physical presence, aligns with Klopp's high-intensity playing style. Moreover, Isak's proven track record in the Premier League adds to his appeal. However, signing Isak would require Liverpool to make a substantial financial commitment. Newcastle's valuation of the striker, likely exceeding $157 million, poses a significant hurdle, particularly as the Reds have already spent heavily in this transfer window. Additionally, Newcastle's reluctance to sell to a Premier League rival further complicates Liverpool's pursuit. The Saudi-backed ambitions of Newcastle's ownership group, spearheaded by Saudi Arabia's public investment fund PIF, has transformed the club's fortunes, with a clear vision of establishing Newcastle as a top-tier club. The Magpies' hierarchy has prioritized retaining key players like Isak, The proposed new contract for the Swedish striker is a testament to their commitment to building a sustainable and competitive squad. The financial backing of the PIF provides Newcastle with the flexibility to resist offers for their star players by addressing their profitability and sustainability PSR obligations through strategic player sales in previous windows. Newcastle is under no pressure to sell Isak to balance the books. Instead, the club can focus on further strengthening their squad to compete in the Champions League and beyond. Conclusion: Alexander Isak's future remains one of the most compelling storylines of this summer transfer window. Newcastle's determination to retain their star striker, coupled with their willingness to offer him a lucrative new contract, underscores his importance to the club's ambitious project. At the same time, Liverpool's potential interest in Isak highlights the Swede's appeal as one of Europe's premier attacking talents. While Newcastle appears to be in a strong position to keep Isak, the unpredictable nature of the transfer market ensures that speculation will persist. As the window progresses, the decisions made by Newcastle and Liverpool not only shape their respective futures, but also leave a lasting impact on the European football landscape.